What is going on, everybody? Another episode of playlist thing, whatever I've been doing, except this time it's me, bitches. So you guys gotta watch this. You guys probably already clicked out. I did not like how uneven that was. So first up, we have Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix.
Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
So the ECU Pirates, the football team that I watched forever growing up, they run out to this song, and so I always knew this song, and then it was a great way to transition into my classic rock era because Jimi Hendrix is one of my favorite, like top 3 favorite guitarists. And so I already knew this song going into it, and then I just started listening to more of his songs, and then started just falling in love with guitar and old music, basically. Classic rock music, but such an amazing song. Next up, we have, I think the only instrumental song on the whole, on my whole list, but I love instrumental music. It's called The Ocean by the John Butler Trio. So I don't know if you guys know anything about guitars, but he plays an entire instrumental on one guitar. It's an 11-string guitar, and he grows out his fingernails and picks with that, and he creates this whole. I don't want to exaggerate too much, but it feels like a story. Like it has its low points, it has its like deep and dark points, it has its like light parts to it, and then at the very end he just goes crazy, and it kind of reminds me of like the ups and downs of life. Kinda, that's how I used to think about it. I promise I wasn't high at the time. I was I was in high school listening to it. In fact, I kind of wrote my own little instrumental song thing that I uploaded a long time ago on my channel that was very heavily influenced by this song. So if you guys like instrumental music, The Ocean by John Butler. Next up, we have my hoe song. If you guys all have a hoe song, I know you do. It's the song that if it comes on in the club or if it comes on at all, you cannot help but shake your ass. Beautiful by Snoop Dogg and Pharrell. Really weird fun fact, the very beginning of that song, Pharrell goes, except he does it on key. And that part was stuck in my head. Like whenever I would just go down the street, instead of like humming or like some people like whistle or hum or do the little water drop noise, like just little ticks, my tick for like 6 years straight was, I would always do that. If you ever heard me do that in any vlogs or anything, I'm mimicking the beginning of this song. If you ever want to see me shake my ass, play this around me. Next up, we got a song that I don't know what I would be if the song did not exist. I went through a huge, like years of just listening to Boston, another classic rock. This is my favorite band of all time, and my favorite song by them is Hitch a Ride. So if you guys didn't know, now you know. That's where it comes from. It's got my favorite guitar solo of all time. The way the song is constructed is just insane. It starts with, it's very, very underrated song. It starts with acoustic guitar, has an amazing bridge. It has an instrumental bridge that the way they put it together is crazy. And then, of course, the guitar solo just wailing at the end. Hitch a Ride by Boston. Next track is Russell Westbrook on a Farm by
Saturate the sheet rap today and evaporate the feedback I hate, I elaborate.
So now Lil Dicky is super famous, but back when I first heard this song, I had only known Lil Dicky from some of his like funny stuff, and then he dropped this shit out of nowhere. Well, actually, I listened to one of his serious songs that's actually so good. So that's when I first fell in love with Lil Dicky's like serious side. And then he dropped this, and it's a remix to Pound Cake by Drake and Jay-Z. It's a really long song. He extends the beat, and for the first half, he's just rapping his ass off. And for the second half of the song, he creates a metaphor and he creates an entire story basically saying if Russell Westbrook had grown up on a farm instead of wherever he grew up, he still would have ended up playing basketball because the genes and the love and the passion for basketball is built within inside of you no matter where you grow up, no matter what you do. Passion is built within inside of you, basically. And it's kind of used as a metaphor because he's a white dude that raps funny stuff, but he can also rhyme his ass off, and he has a passion for rap, and he thinks that he can, be good in comedic rap as well as just normal lyrical rap. And the way that the song is put together is just beautiful. So obviously Lil Dicky has some funny, hilarious songs. He went super viral with his Chris Brown song, but if you really want to listen to him rap, check this song out. Next up, we have one of my favorite songs of all time. Obviously, it's going on this list. It's called There Will Be Time by Mumford & Sons. You never heard of Mumford & Sons? It's kind of like, they're kind of like a, bluegrassy, I think bluegrass would be the best way to say it. I don't know. They're very, very, very good band. They make some amazing music. You probably definitely have heard of some of their songs before, but they went on like an expedition. I believe, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like I read that they went on an expedition to increase their music knowledge and collaborate with different people. So they went to Africa. Is it Africa? I think they collaborated with some African culture style music, and they found a way to, fuse it together with their Mumford & Sons sounds. And this song is just incredible. It starts very slow, and by the end, it is just like there's so many instruments, so many people singing, and it's just the merge of two different styles of music into one beautiful song. And so, yeah, if you haven't heard that, I know I did a pretty terrible job of explaining it, but once you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I get what he was trying to say. All right, next up is something a little bit different. We've got Earl Sweatshirt. He released a project called Solace.
I got my grandmama hands. I start to cry when I see them because they remind me of seeing it.
It almost seems like he had a bunch of little tiny projects and he put them all into one song and just released it. This is definitely like my darker side, I guess. Like, you know what I mean. It's 3 a.m. You can't get to sleep. You're thinking about maybe an ex, or you're thinking about past times in life, and you want to just kind of get it all out. This is a song to do it. It's not a beautiful song per se, as far as how it is perceived to the ears, but the rawness of the lyrics and the rawness of the instrumental parts that he puts together himself, you can definitely tell that he kind of is going through some shit. And even though he's going through it, he finds a way to express himself, puts it all out onto a track. And it's deep, man. It's deep. It's got, some of the lyrics are harsh, but it really makes you know exactly the raw thoughts that are going through his mind. And I don't know, Earl's amazing, man. Earl's amazing. I'll be the boyfriend in your wet dreams tonight. Did I hit that note, guys? So I think Blonde might be one of my top 3 favorite albums ever to ever come out. It's probably like Boston, and then Take Care, and then and then Blonde. There are a few songs, maybe Self Control, Beautiful, The Ocean. There are a few songs that I can listen to endlessly, and I'll never get tired of them. And Self Control is definitely one of those songs. The way the song ends, and he keeps adding harmony to himself, just the way that his voice can just like fill the whole track. So I had known of Frank Ocean. I didn't really listen to him like that until Blonde came out. So I listened to all of Blonde, loved it, and then went back and listened to his previous stuff. So yeah, Self Control by Frank Ocean. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but if you do, you're probably wondering why there's not a Drake track on here. And I thought long and hard about it, because there are a bunch. I only wanted to put one Drake track on here, and I had to go with Diplomatic Immunity.
Diplomatic immunity, fuck 'em.
Take Care is one of my favorite albums of all time, but he dropped this song at the same day that he dropped God's Plan. So he dropped God's Plan and Diplomatic Immunity at the same time. Obviously, God's Plan exploded. Very popular song. But while everybody was listening to that song, I had Diplomatic Immunity on repeat. I think there are a lot of lyrics in that particular track that were speaking to me at the time. It was during, I think it was 2018. Obviously a rough year for me. And there were some lyrics in there that are just like, yo, stop feeling sorry for yourself. You know, you are the shit. And there's a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing and you can prove them wrong. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do. People have been talking to me like I'm slowing down. Opinions over statistics, of course. Gassed off journalistic, knowledge from people who did not contribute to none of this here. Cover my ears. My security is government Oh! And last but not least, 1 and 2 by Mounika. So if you guys don't watch any of my vlogs, Mounika is the main artist that I use for most of my videos. Unfortunately, a lot of his music is being flagged on YouTube right now, the way that YouTube is. So I'm kind of having to stop using his songs and his samples as much anymore. But as I first moved into the Scuff House, I started, for some reason, this particular track kind of like found its way into my most important videos, like in videos where I was being really deep, or videos where I was trying to engage very on like a more personal level with the people that were watching the videos. I read a comment one day that actually made me realize that. They were like, I know shit is going down whenever 1 and 2 starts playing. So after I read that and realized that that's kind of how it was, I kind of made it my theme song when it comes to YouTube. It's at the end of my 100K video. It's at the end of me giving my interview on Finale 4. And whenever I hear that song, it means a lot to me. It takes me back to the Scuff House. It takes me back to clicking on the YouTube video of 1 and 2. And in the comments of the YouTube video, people are saying, man, Hitch brought me here. Hitch is the cool guy that just moved into the OpTic house. And I don't know, it takes me back to that first year in the Scuff House and how much it meant to me. So 1 and 2 by Mounika. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. My 10 songs. Let me know what you think. If you guys haven't heard any of these songs and you go and you listen to the songs and you like the songs, make sure to tell me on Twitter, because that would just make my day. Even I don't care which one it is. But yeah, these songs mean a lot to me. I love music. I love you guys. Bye.